guys! Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you guys are watching this video. Thank you guys so much for coming over and watching. You have no idea how much it means to me, guys. So today is going to be day 1, 2, and 3 of the daily devotionals that I talked to you guys about yesterday. And I did day 1, 2, and 3 because, like I said yesterday, I'm falling behind. I am behind. So I didn't want to overwhelm myself with doing all 5 days to catch up. So I did 3, and then tomorrow I'll do 2. I'm going to tell you the day. I'm going to tell you the title. I'm going to give you what I got out from it, what stuck out to me the most. And then I'm going to talk about the challenge that comes with it. Okay, so day 1 was right here. Woo! God's purpose for your marriage. And what I got from this one was obviously that God's purpose for your marriage is to reveal his love to the world through your marriage. So if the purpose for your marriage is to reveal God's love through you so that people see you and are like, wow, that's a godly couple. That's what God's love feels like. That's what, and I don't want to be the couple that people look at and they see them fighting all the time and it's just bad news. Everybody knows this couple. Everybody knows these people. They're like, and those are Christians? They call themselves Christians? Man, I don't want to be like that, right? That's the last thing I want to do. So knowing that God has a purpose for my marriage, then it gives me motivation. It makes me want to be close to a picture perfect couple because I want people to see me and be like, wow, I want a marriage like Kim and Frankie's. I want to be loved the way Frankie loves Kim. I want to be loved the way Kim loves Frankie. That's what I want for them, right? I want them to be like, I want Jesus in my life so that I can have a marriage like that. That's what I got from day number 1. And the challenge for that day was spend time talking to your husband about how the two of you reflect God's image and discuss the purpose of marriage. So I haven't done that because I've fallen so far behind. I'm planning on doing it, and maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll do it today. Day 2 is marriage by design. Okay, so this one talked about what stood out to me. It talked about a lot of things, but what stood up to me was loving and showing respect even when he doesn't deserve it. Oh my gosh, guys, how many of you can say that there's been times where your husband or boyfriend or significant other does not deserve your respect and your love, right? It's hard, right? It's so hard to show respect, to show love when they just don't deserve it at the time. Let's say, okay, let me tell you a little something. Let me tell you something that happened the other day, okay? So Frankie and I were driving in our van, and then I don't know what happened. I think I saw a couple, an older couple. The gentleman went across to the other side of the car and opened the door for his wife or girlfriend. I don't know who it was. I'm pretty sure it was his wife. I saw him open the door, and I was like, man, why doesn't Frankie do that to me, right? So I'm talking to him like, you know what? I want my kids to grow up to be gentlemen. I want them to be the kind of guy that opens the door and closes the door for their wife. And I'm like, don't you want the boys to be that way? And he said, yeah, of course I want them to be that way. I'm like, well, the only way that they're going to be that way is if they learn by example. So I think from now on, you should open my door and close it. And he just looked at me and I'm like, I'm just saying the only way they're going to learn is by demonstration, okay? So I think you should do it. I want you to do it. And then he said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And he did it for a couple times. It's been it's so accustomed for me not to have him open it. Sometimes I'll just open it and get out by myself, right? But I try to, for the most part, stay in there until he has the opportunity to open it, or stay outside till he has the opportunity to open it for me to get in. So this day, recently, I think it was last week, we got in a huge argument. We got in a huge argument. I don't know, it was the dumbest reason ever. Now, Frankie and I don't want to sound like, oh, sure, Kim, but Frankie and I don't argue. We hardly argue, right? Big arguments. So this little thing turned into something huge. So it carried on to the next day, right? We were getting ready for church, and I was mad. I was still upset at him. Now the thought of him opening the door for me that morning came to mind, but I was like, how the heck am I gonna let him open the door for me, man? I'm just gonna get in. At the time I was so angry, right? when I was getting in, my mind like shifted and was like, what you mean he ain't gonna open the door? He's gonna open my door because he's gonna open my door. Okay, I don't care if he's angry. He's gonna open my door, right? So I stood out there in the freezing cold, right? I stood there and I was waiting for him to open my door and he was getting everything ready. And this guy was prolonging it, guys. He was taking his sweet time. I saw him like go into his truck and like mess with something, go back in the house. And I'm over here it was freezing outside. So it's freezing outside. I'm like staring at this guy like, dude, I was so tempted to go inside of the freaking car. And okay, so finally he goes to the backyard to do something. Like, I don't know what the heck he was doing in the backyard. So I'm like staring at him, right? And in my head, I'm like, ooh, this guy better open my door. I swear he better open my door. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to flip out, right? So finally, he comes out of the backyard and then he starts walking, right? He starts walking towards his door. And then he like, I don't know, he does like a, never mind, and starts walking towards me. And he opens my door. And I couldn't help but smile because in my head this whole time I'm like ratchet voice talking to myself like, oh, this guy better open my door or I'm going to flip out. So I couldn't help but smile. But when I got in, it was like, wow, this guy, even though I'm mad at him, even though we're fighting right now, he still went above and beyond to open my door. You know, he could have easily ignored me and gotten in the door and been like, no, I'm not going to open the door until you start acting right, you know, or something. And he did that for me. So reading this and seeing that it's God's expectation, it's God's like rule for you to love and respect your husband even when he doesn't deserve it. So it's huge for me, right? It totally changes it, and it brought me back to that certain time that he opened the door for me, and I was like, wow, I need to freaking change my ways. I need to love and respect this man even when he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, that's it. I need to focus more on loving him and respecting him through the good and the bad. No excuses. Always be godly and always be Jesus-like. What would Jesus do, right? Okay, so day number 3, sorry that took forever. Day number 3 was also very convicting, and it was the need for companionship. The title is The Need for Companionship. Boom. Day number 3, the need for companionship. And every one of them has little Bible verses under it. If you guys want to go check them out, maybe on the screen or in the description down below, if you guys want to go read them to get, you know, a little bit more into it, or you guys could just get the book with me. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link down below. And just it's obviously changing something, right? So I really highly recommend it, and then come back to the videos and, you know, give me your opinion on stuff. And so this morning I woke up to Frankie completely cleaning up the kitchen. Just he put up some Christmas lights in our magical room. He started a fire, and it was just like, and he had some worship music going on. So it was just beautiful. And like, so I took the advantage and I sat there to do the devotionals. And at the moment, my kids were doing something adorable on the floor in the carpet. And my husband I think he was getting breakfast started or something. I don't know what he was doing, but I just looked and I was like, we can grow so immune to these things. Like, the sunset, the flowers, like we're just like, it's a flower, it's another sunset, right? And we don't even think about how he's trying to impress us. He's doing all these marvelous and beautiful things, and we're just so immune to it. We don't even care. We don't care about the sunrise, the sunset. We don't care about the beautiful trees that we're surrounded by. We don't care about any of these things, and we're so caught up in our problems. We don't see that God is trying to impress us every second of every day to get just to win our love, you know? And it just was really eye-opening for me. So think about it, guys. Think about all the awesome things that's going on around you that he's trying to impress you with, and you're just so immune to it, you know? Okay, so another thing that stood out to me was this. It said, to have a thriving marriage, you must protect your companionship with your husband. Make it a priority to pursue your husband, to invite him to join you, to commune with him and communicate with him. Trust in him. This is huge for me, okay? I talked about this yesterday. Trust in him. Be confident in his abilities. rely on him, and rally with him. I do all of these things, guys. Don't get me wrong. I totally and completely trust in him. I am confident in his abilities, and I do rely on him. But to an extent, okay? I trust in him when I need to trust in him. If I don't need to trust in him, I won't. I'll trust in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have capabilities too. And that's not okay. Okay, so be confident in his abilities. Heck yeah, I'm confident in his abilities. Like I've said before, this guy can do anything, right? If he puts his mind to it, he can do anything and everything. Everything I've asked him to do, he's done it. All right, guys. So the challenges for day 2. The challenge for day 2 was find time today to tell your husband one reason why you respect him. Now, I did do that, but it totally backfired. I was like, babe, I respect you. And he stared at me. And I stared at him, and it was like a giant moment of pause. It was just like staring, and I blanked out, guys. I didn't know what the heck to say to him. I was just like, I just blanked, right? There's so many things, but I blanked. And he was like, he stared at me, he was like, don't lie to me, woman. And I cracked up, and he cracked up, and that was a total fail, so that didn't work. And I was like, I'm just kidding. I love you. And like freaked, right? So the challenge for day 3, which I'm going to do today, is to spend time doing something that he wants to do, that he would rather do. So I'm going to try to squeeze that in today. I don't know how because we have a booked day, but I'll let you guys know how that goes tomorrow. And we'll start with 4 and 5. Day 4 and 5. I hope you guys enjoyed my talk today. I love you guys. And I will see you in the next video, which is tomorrow. Laters! Bye, guys.